Wow, today is one of those days that I am so glad to be alive, and I hope you are. Like, share, and subscribe to this channel, and give me a comment. This one is what I want this one to have an interactive approach to the dialogue that has not been going on. What I want to look at today is something that is gonna have you reflect on the matter. The older I become is the more I have realized that life is simple. A big house is not gonna do it. A fancy car, whether it's a Benz, a BMW, or a new one, it's not going to be the case. How much you spend to show friends is not it. It is just so simple. Live it within what makes you comfortable. And the human being soul is easy to be comforted. It requires peace, joy, and happiness. It is that simple. We're in this world. So the topic that I want to look at today is that the games of pawns. And that one is going to have you being reflective on what I wanted to deal with. The Games of Powns. The Games of Powns. Jamaica's had a number of prime ministers. Um, Hugh Shearer, Donald Sangster, Bustamante, Michael Manley, Edward Seaga, Bruce Golding, Portia Simpson Miller, Andrew Olness. And I hope I have not missed any. But I want you to look at some fundamental stuff. Whether they were born in an inner city area, as in the case of Mrs. Portia Simpson Miller, Mr. Olness. Who else do I know born in the inner city area? Those I think do. Mr. Edward Seaga lived in one. I don't think he was born in one, so to speak. Mr. Michael Manley wasn't born in one. But what I want to look at is whether they were born in a city area or not. What have they given you? What have, and when I say you, I'm not talking about directly you. I'm talking about you in the sense of black people. What have they given? Of all the persons, of all the prime ministers that I mentioned earlier, the one that has done the most significant for the upliftment of the black man and woman in Jamaica is Mr. none other than Michael Manley. And you want to call me a PNP? If Mr. Michael Manley's contribution to development makes me a PNP, then I am not apologizing for supporting Mr. Manley. Mr. Manley's contribution to the Jamaica is not only in the area of social and economic development, but in terms of upliftment of the human spirit. Name me which other prime minister in Jamaica that has done that. Give you a few seconds. Tick, 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 tick. Have you thought about it? Do you want more time? Okay. Tick, tick, tick. Are you saying that I'm making noise so you can't listen? Fabulous. I'll give you a few more seconds. Quiet as a lark. No, you have thought about it. And your answer is none. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. A number of Jamaicans are afraid to look at what is really happening on the ground and call a spade a spade. Why are you afraid? And then a number of us are Christians. A number of you are also Christians, and you are afraid to be honest. Why are you afraid to be honest? Who are you afraid of? And why are you afraid of somebody that can kill your physical being when you're deeper and bigger, larger, more influential than a physical being? Why are you afraid of those persons? As a matter of fact, they should be afraid of you. Let's continue. So I'm saying to you, when you look at what is happening, let's take the latest Prime Minister of Jamaica, Mr. Andrew Holness, born in an inner city area in St. Catherine. We don't actually call the name of the place. We all by this should know it. And for those who know, John's Road. Mr. Holness was born there, so he understands the plight of the people in inner city area. Mrs. Portia Simpson Miller as well was born in inner city area. So she understands what happens in Waltham Park Road. Paul Bourne was born in one, very close to Mrs. Simpson Miller. So I understand the challenges of inner city people. And I have seen Mrs. Simpson Miller, Mr. Golden, Mr. Siaga, um, Wells. I'm talking about in my lifetime. All right, those persons and the eras that they were in. Michael Manley as well, and the eras that we're in. And I'm looking at real human change and development. And people are saying that Mr. Siak was an architect of change. Which change? Building an high-rising building or building a clinic, and then what gives after that is war and rumors of war, massive destruction of the human capital. Look what Mr. Golden did while he was over in St. Catherine, the area that he knows very well. I'm not sure if he was born over there, but that area he knows very well. What is the development? I have driven past where Mr. Golden had his constituency on many occasions as recently as a few days ago. And I'm looking back at the squalor, the degradation of the people. They got little or nothing from Mr. Golden. I've driven past Mr. Alden Oldest place a number of times. As a matter of fact, I lived very close to that point at one point in my adult life. I lived in Seaview Gardens. And of course, I had to actually go through where his constituency is. And I'm looking at the degradation of the people and the mindset of those people. Then I'll take you down to Mr. Michael Manley constituency. Likewise. And I take you to Mrs. Portia Simpson constituency, and I see no change. So let us go now. So if the person was actually born outside of the squalor, as in the case of Donald Sangster, Michael Manley, they did little or nothing for Jamaica. You share as well. And when you look at those who were born and grew in the squalor, little or nothing has happened. So let me ask you a question. Who are you? You know, see that you're in a game and you're the pawn in the game. You're not even the king or the queen. You're just a pawn. You have been used for years and months and days and weeks, hours, seconds, milliseconds, because you do not understand that you are just a pawn. A pawn has no value. And that is why all the prime ministers in Jamaica, barring none, have not ensured that every Jamaican is adequately provided for today, tomorrow, and years to come. Now, let me take a prime minister that was born outside and has maybe the longest reigning prime minister in Jamaica's history. That is Mr. P.J. Patterson. He was born in the country. And based on what we have read, I don't know. I'm a young lad, so I do not know exactly how he grew up. Some say he was born in the country. I do not think he was born for a wealthy family. And if I am mistaken about the matter, I must apologize. So he was not born in wealth, riches, opulence, but he was born not within the same context as those born in inner city areas in Jamaica, where there's war, there's crime, there's degradation, there's suffration, there's human apathy, there is lethargic thinking. He was not born in that. So he was born in a country area, but the country area might be low income, but it's a totally different mindset. Mr. Percival James Patterson spent over 19 years as Prime Minister of Jamaica. And what did he do? Let me tell you what he did. And you're going to argue that I'm the worst person that you have ever met. And that's fine. I'll accept that. I'll do anything for the people of this country. Mr. Percival James Patterson had the Zinc program that he actually built buildings, not buildings, but I would say fences that are made of blocks. That's what he substantially gave Jamaica. Increased the gas price to the point where people had to demonstrate. That's what he gave Jamaica. Look what else Mr. Patterson gave the people of Jamaica. And then after you look at that, look at Mr. Holness Mrs. Simpson Miller, and to some extent Mr. Edward Siago. Then you're gonna compare that, contrast that with you, Shira, Thankster, and Michael Manley. So those are three groups of persons in different social contexts. Some living in inner city areas, some born outside of inner city areas, some born to affluent parents, and look what they have done to the people of Jamaica. Go to all the inner city areas, whether they are in Kingston, St. Andrew, St. Catherine, Manchester, St. Elizabeth, they all bear resemblance of the same thing. Then I want you to take your attention now to Mr. Chong, or Chang, sorry. And Mr. Chang has served in his constituency for years. Currently, the Minister of National Security. And it's an embarrassment as to what Mr. Chang has done to his constituency. As a matter of fact, he has done nothing. What has he really given those people to elevate them to the point where his constituency is a model constituency in Jamaica? Many of the crimes, both perpetrated and committed, are done in St. James, and a substantial part of those crimes are committed in his constituency as the minister, and he's still there. I'm asking the question, who are you in the game? You're just a pawn. You have been used for years, and we have not recognized. Look at the screen. Look in my eyes. Look at my color. Do I reflect your color? You and I are 100% the same. We are Africans. We are Kemites. If they want to call us blacks, fabulous. We are black people. What have they given us? When you look me dead in the eyes, you see me, and I'm trying to make you think about what it is that they have been doing you. And your force mode of operandi is want to kill a person like myself. And I am defending your interest. Look in yourself. Look deep into your soul and see who is trying to fool you, who is playing you as a pawn. The politicians have no interest in you, whether they are JLP or PNP. You are just being used by them each and every day. Ladies and gentlemen, those are my views. That's our discussion. Those who think that I'm anti-politics, those who think I'm anti-whoever, those who have a different view, let us share. Comment. Blast me if you so desire. Let's have a robust discussion, and I will guarantee you I will respond because I ain't afraid of nothing. Like, share, and subscribe.